Anyway, so I tried out, or no, not just tried out. I have the PSVR, as you might have seen by a couple of my videos, and I've tried every demo available and all the experiences, and I bought one game. Well, two if you count PSVR Worlds, but that's basically a paid demo, a paid collection of demos. So that's not really an issue because it doesn't count as a full game. So anyway, I lost track of what I was saying because I got distracted by this thing. What I'm trying to say is, I'm going to give you my impressions of everything so far. Now, keep in mind, I've been a huge VR evangelist, constantly talking about it, and for good reason, because it's absolutely amazing. If you haven't tried it, you don't understand what it's like, what the feeling of being inside of something. Oh yeah, someone just showed up, so I'm not in VR right now, I'm just talking about it, but here's the headset. So, headset. How does it feel? Well, it feels better than the Oculus Rift TK2, and certainly feels better than the VR box that I got for my phone. But it's still not the most comfortable thing in the world. It can kind of hurt my head a little bit to try to tighten it and keep it there. But I don't know, whatever, I get over it. As far as the screen goes, well, just like my glasses, the lenses are always getting smudged and I have to figure out ways of cleaning them. But that's going to always happen no matter what. But the experience of being kind of completely immersed in a game is absolutely unmatched. Like, you can't, there's nothing else, there's no other way of, there's no way to replicate that with anything else. I'd always hear people saying stuff like, well, there's nothing you can't do with just a 3D TV. No, that is completely not true. For one thing, with 3D TV, you can't get a sense of scale. And that affects a lot. For instance, on Here They Lie, a lot of the places you go into are very claustrophobic. They're very small, and you feel like you're getting packed in tight. But then other times, like towards the end, there's this hallway of these statues, and the statues are like 400 or 500 feet tall or something. And you can look up and you see the immense scale of everything, even other stuff like that. And like, when something's in your face, when you see it on a TV, it doesn't matter. But when characters or things get in your face in VR, you feel it. Like you kind of like, get away from me because this is a little too close. The feeling is completely and utterly different than anything you can experience on a TV or monitor or whatever. So now I'll talk about the games that I played and which ones I liked and which ones I didn't. Let's talk about the one I hated the most, firstly. That would be that luge game on VR Worlds. That was terrible. It was the most boring, stupid thing I've ever done in my life. I didn't realize... Actually, that's not true. I did know I could be bored in VR because I was bored by this roller coaster game on the Oculus that I played. It was really super boring. But I didn't expect that for any of these experiences to completely bore me, and that one did. So that went out of the way. Some other ones that I tried the shark demo, and that's one that the friend who secured this for me for launch day, like, I wouldn't have this if it weren't for him. But the thing that sold him on it was that shark cage thing, and that was actually, I mean, it's pretty much just the luge thing that's terrible. This is more just kind of mediocre for me. Yeah, the shark's there, blah, blah, blah. The only part that actually kind of got to me in the shark cage was when the cage broke open and it felt like it was going to hit me. That that actually kind of made me go, whoa, 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 holy crap. But the shark itself, eh. And it's the same thing with games where you're kind of flying. Like, I can look down. In real life, I am deathly scared of heights, but it wasn't the case here, and I think the reason why is because I'm only afraid of heights when I feel like there's a legitimate chance of me falling. But in real life, I've got my feet planted on the floor, and so I never felt that fear. There's a scene in Here They Lie where you fall down into this drainage thing, and you kind of it does it in slow motion, I guess, so it doesn't make you sick. But it just felt like I was going down an elevator. I'm like, oh, okay, this is okay. I forgot. I was talking about the games, wasn't I? Oh yeah, that's because I was talking about the luge. So the luge is boring. The shark cage was okay, not that great. Face ball or danger ball or whatever it is, the one where you like have to hit the ball. It's basically Pong with, with your face. It was actually kind of fun. Not something I would like play a whole lot. I might play it 5 minutes and then stop. What else is there? Scavenger's Odyssey. I kind of got stuck on the first level, and so I just kept going back and forth, and it's really slow and like. So I didn't continue with that, but I might try to finish it later, try to figure out how to do what I'm supposed to do. So that one wasn't that great either. Then there's The Heist. I played The Heist about 3 or 4 times now. I played it with the controller, and I played it with the moves. With the DualShock, and I played it with the moves. And when you play the Heist with the DualShock, it's actually a lot easier because you can reload with a button press. When you play it with the moves, however, you have to reload manually. You have to pick up the clip and put it inside the gun. And that was not fun. Or it's not that it wasn't fun, it's just I sucked at it. And so I didn't even come close to dying when I was controlling it with the DualShock, but when I used the moves, I died a few times. Actually, about 4 or 5 times especially in the chase scene. Also, I guess somehow I didn't figure out where the diamond was the second time I played it. The first time I did it, I got the diamond right away, I think. But the second time, it took me a long time to find the diamond, and I found this like password block thing. I don't know if the game actually changes or if I was just really lucky the first time. But so that's The Heist. The Heist is pretty cool though. I mean. And I did both of the endings. Actually, I've done all 3 of the endings, I should say. Because there's the ending. I don't know if I should spoil it, but there's spoilers. So I'll hold my hand up while the spoilers going. Let's get some. There we go. Spider or something. That's a good thing for spoilers. This is my spoiler hand. Okay, as long as this is up here. I don't want to do a Nazi salute or anything like that. Or the commie fist thing, but yeah. At the end, you have to choose to kill someone. Technically, you can kill yourself too, I think, which I don't think I did that one, but I did. I killed the big guy, I killed the old man, and then I shot in the air and didn't kill anybody. And when you do that, the old man just kills you. And so I did all 3 of them. And that was good. Then we get into the demos that are on the demo disc that I had to download because I got mine in Japan that didn't come with the demo disc at all, actually. I thought it was supposed to come with a Japanese demo disc, but it didn't. But the demo's on there. There's Tumble VR, which when you watch it on a TV it looks incredibly boring, but actually it's kind of fun. It is kind of fun, provided you have good tracking, and that means I have to play it in a completely dark room because this thing is impossible to get out of the camera. Horrible lighting. Anyway, I need to get a lamp that I can put up here so that I don't need this thing. so that I can use the lamp during VR and actually have light in the room when there's VR. Yeah, so Tumble's great when it works properly. And then there's... what else is there? There's... oh, I'm in the Playroom right now. So Playroom VR, that's another good one. I've tried all of the demos except for the cowboy, like the cowboy one, the Wild West one. That's the only one I didn't do because I figured it would have been impossible without having another person there. With the Ghosts one, I actually finished the first level without having a second player, just by guessing where the ghosts were, by seeing where things moved, or by noticing patterns or whatever, and also with a lot of luck. And so that was really fun. I did the cat one, which means I was controlling both the mouse and me and the cat, and I had both win, and that was interesting. It's a weird feeling because with the cat one, you're on the ground, and so it feels like the ground is going through your neck. And that's actually a feeling I felt a lot, because I also got Here They Lie, which is a horror game, and there's a few times where things kind of move, and so like there's one part where the tunnel is moving like a snake, kind of, or like waves, like ocean waves. And when that happens, I kind of like... my stomach lurched a bit because it felt like it was the concrete was like a liquid that was coming up to my neck. And there's another part where you actually go through these bars, and the bars go through your neck. And I don't get motion sickness at all, really, but that did make me feel a little bit weird. Like it was an uncomfortable feeling. There's a lot of uncomfortable moments in Here They Lie, but I'm sure they're intentionally that way. So then let's see, so Tumble, Drive Club was so-so until the car started bugging out and moving around like this. That was just the demo of Drive Club. I didn't get I'm probably not going to buy the full game. But what else was there? I tried that puzzle game where you see things from a distance and then you get in close to it when you're doing certain puzzles. And that was at a time when my camera wasn't working properly, and so I wasn't able to do much in it. I might have to try it again tonight, because my camera seems to be working fine now. I forgot what that one's called. It's a puzzle game. Anyway, so there's that. Rush of Blood. Again, I played Rush of Blood with both the moves and with the controller. And either way... there's something that really, really bugs the crap out of me about Rush of Blood. Is that the guns, even with the move, the guns are not free aim. They're permanently stuck like this. Like, you have to hold your arms out, and that's a pain in the ass. And I always hold my controller like this because it rests, you know, it rests on my chest or my stomach. And so to have to hold it out like this, it hurts. And so it's not comfortable, and when I do move it back, I can tell the game's not quite figuring out what I'm doing, and so it kind of messes it up. So it's slightly better with the moves, but not much, because it still doesn't like going back or forth. It's only about which direction it's aiming. But that one's interesting. It's a good one to show off to people. I think it's a nice, solid thing, experience. And then there is Battlezone. I haven't bought Battlezone yet. I probably will, but I played the demo. And what's really cool about Battlezone is that you are inside the tank. Now, if you haven't played with VR, you're like, well, what does that mean? I'm inside, I've done cockpit views in games all the time. No, this is different. Like, you can look around and see every part of the tank, and you can clearly see that you're moving inside the tank, and there's stuff, outside, and like, it's that feeling of being there that you cannot get normally with a video game. And so I love that experience. That was a good one. at least until it came to shooting the things out of the sky, and I didn't quite get that worked out. I tried Eve Valkyrie, failed miserably. I might have to give that one another shot. What else? Of course, the thing that I wanted to see the most was, you know, if I could get a Silent Hill style horror game. And so obviously Here They Lie is the closest you're going to get to a Silent Hill style horror game. And they do borrow a lot from the same sources. Like, aesthetically, there's a lot... They do a lot of stuff from Jacob's Ladder, which is one of the inspirations for Silent Hill. The problem is, it seems more influenced by David Lynch, meaning that it doesn't make a lick of sense. Although, I played through a second time, and that's over 6 hours total of playing this game. A horror game in VR. I played through a second time, and when I did, not only, I mean, I did see different things. There's actually all sorts of stuff you can miss if you're not paying attention, or if you're going a different direction. It's not as linear as you might think it is. It's, you know, most of these walking simulator games are pretty linear, like, you know, like Gone Home and stuff like that. This is not like that at all. Like, firstly, you can actually die. And by the way, if you watch my video and find the places where I die, and you see like everything kind of twirl in and it forms a room around you, this hallway. Those respawn rooms are some of the coolest things about this game, because it's just that's the most interesting death scene I've ever seen in a video game ever. Like, it has not been matched. What I don't like about that is that they try to be philosophical and try to be intellectual and fail miserably, because everything because you pick up these pictures and these people will start talking, and it sounds like they're a bunch of stoners and, you know, just discussing what their current thoughts happen to be, and it's always something stupid. And the worst one is this girl talking about her sexuality and like how in order to be a real person, you have to be realized as a sexual essence, you know, blah blah blah. It was the dumbest thing in the world, and like I just cringed every time I knew I had to pick up the pictures if I wanted to progress properly, but which I apparently didn't get all the pictures because that's a trophy that I missed. But it was really stupid. And then there's some stuff in the middle, like if you seen the demo or just played the demo, what you might not realize is that you meet a lot of people in this game, but they're all like, firstly, they don't talk, they just kind of make sounds, and secondly, there's only two character models. There's two main character models. There's the guy in the wife beater, and there's the girl in the dirty dress. And then both of those characters have a white variation and a black variation. And that's about it. Plus there's some special like monster characters, like the deer guy, but what they do is they wear these masks, or possibly just heads of animals, I don't know. I mean, one of them looks like a chihuahua, so I'm guessing that would just be a mask. But anyway, it's also a game, so it doesn't matter if anything they want it to be. But they're definitely like rubber mask kind of feeling, because it doesn't move properly with their face all the time, and they kind of shake around sometimes when they turn. But so this whole town is full of people wearing animal masks, and I'm gonna have a more thorough kind of analysis of what I feel about this, like about the story in this thing later on, because I'm starting to get my own idea for what's happening here. But it definitely, it was worth the money, even though I thought that the philosophy and like the brain behind it was really bad. Yeah. So that's Here They Lie, and that is the only other game I bought besides what's that? VR Worlds. So now I get to decide what my next game's gonna be, and Rush of Blood is just not my style, really. I mean, it was interesting, but I don't know if I want to pay for a full game. I've seen a lot of bad reviews for the Harmonix music thing, but that was actually a pretty cool experience. And speaking of other experiences that were free, I have Hulu on here, and Hulu has a VR mode, and you can watch your stuff on a virtual screen inside of a virtual environment, like one of them's a beach, one of them's a theater, one of them's a house that you can change the background, so the house is in the middle of, like, the house is in the city at one of them, and the house is, or it looks like the house is in a forest or on the beach, or just there's just a star field that you can see, and that's it. It's just a star field. And so that was really cool, even though I ended up playing with the toys around the room more than watching the show. But it was actually decent watching the show this way. In fact, I'm not going to do it all the time whenever I want to watch something new, but if there's something big that I want to watch on Hulu, then I might actually do it that way, because it just makes the experience a lot better. People say, well, but isn't the resolution lower? Yes, it is, but you gotta keep in mind that my TV, you can't see it, my TV's like 24 inches. And so I'll take a hit in resolution to get a bigger screen, because I can see more that way. Like, it's a much better experience having a large, like a big screen 720 image than it is having a 24-inch 1080p screen. Because it's like, at the distance that I watch this, it's smaller than my phone. When you compare the two, like watching my phone and watching the TV, this is smaller than the phone. And so this is a welcome thing. In fact, I also have played a few regular games in cinema mode. One of them was really weird that I played in. I played the Resident Evil demo because of Resident Evil, not Kitchen, by the way. I did play Kitchen on the demo thing, which was interesting, but not the best. Again, it had that thing where the arms were locked, and so the movement wasn't quite right with the arms, and so it kind of threw it off. It's like this. I don't like if the arms, if you could move the arms more freely, that would be great. But because they're locked a little bit, and so it doesn't move one-to-one with you completely. I think it wasn't as good as it could have been. But I played the real Resident Evil 7 demo, which doesn't have a VR mode yet. It's going to. They said they're going to release another version of the demo next month. And I played it with the VR helmet, and it didn't make me sick, but it made me dizzy. I will say that. So playing a first-person game that's fast at all with VR helmet is going to make you dizzy, even if you're not the kind of person who gets motion sickness. Like, I don't get motion sickness at all. But I also played Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain with it, and I just remember I've got the XOF uniform for Quiet, so she's not wearing that stupid costume that all the blogs are talking about for like a year. Like, how much of Quiet's butt can you see with this costume? That's the number one topic of discussion about the game, not anything else that you could have talked about, the story or the philosophies behind it, the whole like what's it called, critical pedagogy and like anti-colonialism and all this kind of stuff. But no, it's about Quiet's butt. So I didn't have that, but it's still she still does the weird things where she like turns around and does all this stuff in the camera, and it's kind of funny when she does it with her XOF uniform, because it seems less like terrible and more like just a girlfriend who's being flirty. Not like when she's got her normal outfit, it doesn't look flirty. It just looks kind of gross. But with the XOF uniform, it's like she's just being flirty on in between missions. And when she gets up in your face, like, so it fills up the screen, and I always have the big cinema screen on, because that's that's the best one, because you can, you know, it takes up your whole view and you can actually like look around it. So it gives you a little tiny bit of a VR experience, not a complete one, obviously. But so that's the one I always do. And something about it when she stares in your eyes. I played through this game so many times and watched it on the TV, but like it was like a real person was staring in my eyes, even though it was just a screen, a virtual screen in front of my face. And so that was kind of weird. So that was the strangest experience I had with the cinema mode, like cinema mode. So I'm trying to think what other demos there are that I played that I can talk about. On the PlayStation, on Playroom VR, my absolute favorite demo that's a single-player demo is Bot Rescue. It's basically one of those. It's basically like Super Mario 64 kind of, you know, one of those old school cutesy platformers, but then you are the camera, of course. And you can see the shadow. It's like just like in Mario 64, how the camera was actually Lakitu or whatever. Well, you are the camera in this one, and so you can look around and you can, you know, do things. Plus, you can do certain things by like send out a what's it called? You can send out a rope to connect to things for your little guy to jump on. And that was the coolest experience that I've had so far, because it was like, it's like being on one of those dark rides at Disneyland, except that they were actually coming to life and you could walk around it and you could get up close with stuff, and like, it's like one of those dark rides like Winnie the Pooh and stuff on drugs. Like the dark rides times 100, times 1,000, times 10,000. That's what it was like. And so if they ever make an expansion for Playroom VR, because Playroom, this is the one I'm on right now, the old Playroom. The original Playroom has a whole bunch of expansions that I never bought because I wasn't interested. But if they came out with expansions for Playroom VR that expanded on Bot Rescue, like if they made a full game out of it, I would pay full game price if it was a full game. You know, I would pay $60 for a full Bot Rescue game, complete with bosses and like crazy stuff you can do. And so I hope to see more of that. I want to see some more third-person games like that, and not like the puzzle game, because that one was kind of lame, but more, you know, like Bot Rescue. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the Bot Rescue video. You still won't know what I'm talking about because you're not in the VR, but I can kind of explain what I'm feeling as I'm feeling it rather than trying to remember it and tell you. And that's the last thing I want to say about VR. When you get out of the experience, when you take the VR helmet off, it's like you feel like you just woke up from a dream. It's really hard for me to remember exactly what I felt in each of those experiences. I mean, I kind of get a general idea for it. Like, there's a part in Here They Lie that they show in all like GameSpot shows it in their review of the game, which is actually one of the biggest kind of swerve moments, is when it stops being, you know, empty and lonely and starts being populated with lots of people. And that's when they try to beat up the naked bloody guy. And in that scene, one of the guys, he's got this ram's head on, so you see like the horns in your face and stuff, and he's kind of holding you in place, and he pulls you out. And that actually was a very visceral experience. It's like this guy is actually in your face and you want to push him away, but you can't. And so yeah, if you haven't tried VR, do try it. But if you do get motion sickness at all, you might want to work up to this. So what you do is you start with a game that doesn't involve movement at all. Something like Tumble. Tumble is a good starter VR game. So get Tumble, get used to the, you know, looking around inside the VR thing with a little bit of motion and kind of build up to it. I don't care what the people at Oculus said, or at Valve or whatever it was. VR legs, I believe. Well, I mean, I guess I don't have to get VR legs because I don't get motion sickness. But I believe they're a real thing because I've seen too many people who said, yeah, I felt really sick when I first started, but after a while, I got used to it. That doesn't mean after a while playing for a single day. No, once you start getting sick, you stop, and you come back to it, in a day or two, and then you go a little bit longer and you stop. You kind of you build your resistance to it slowly like that. And I think if people do that, everyone will have something that will be great for them in VR. I think that this experience cannot be replicated by anything else. This is a completely new medium. And oh, I almost forgot Element. So I watched a few VR movies. There's one I'd already seen, which is Invasion. I saw it on the phone. Obviously, it looks better in PSVR because it actually takes up your whole vision, and you can look around more easily. But Element, though, Element is completely made for PSVR. It's made for the real VR. It's a 3D CG game that like a thing that you can actually like bend over and look around corners and stuff like that. And it's basically a retold version of The Little Match Girl. And if you know The Little Match Girl, it's super, super depressing. And so you can kind of guess what happens at the end, even though they don't like say it. They don't say it explicitly what happens at the end, but you can kind of guess. But that was the most beautiful thing, the most beautiful kind of non-game experience I've had so far. And I would love to see more stuff like that. Not Invasion. Invasion was dumb. But Element is the standard to live up to for VR cinema, I guess. Virtual cinema? No. I don't know. They got to come up with a new word for this. But that set the bar for future projects, and some things have to get up to that point to really make it worth watching something that you can't interact with directly. And that's about it. And I hope you learned something. Okay. No, I don't want to take a picture. Broadcast. Stop broadcast.